Good morning. So I always say good morning. I don't know if it's morning when you're listening. Now I'm going to do the wands. And of course, we're going to start with the ace. And the ace is the beginning. And again, the hands handing the wand. Wands are all about fire and action and energy. So when you are reading with the wands, always think about the energy behind them. So this would be starting something creative, something new that's full of energy. A lot of times the wands are about work, but they can be really about anything. And but whatever it is that fire. And this could be a project, but the hand is handing it out. It is the wand, and it is really about a lot of energy. When we get to the two, again, we talk about two as being balance and choices and such. He's got the world in his hands. That's awesome. So he started this project, and now he's got the world in his hands, but he has this two wands on either side. It's like a which way should I go type deal. I am moving forward, and I'm moving forward from my ace, but I'm kind of like not sure. Like, do I go to the left? Do I go to the right? Do I go straight? So it's kind of that type of thing, but I do see this a lot to me when I'm doing readings as moving forward. It's like, yeah, there might be a fork in the road, but you are still moving. And sometimes when I see that too, he has the world in his hands. I don't think it matters what fork you take. It's going to work out. The idea is to keep moving. Again, when you have the action with the wands, you want to keep moving, you want to keep doing. But then comes the three, and this is great because what it says is everything we've done is starting to happen. But the three is about patience. So you're taking that wand energy and you're asking someone to be patient. And I see that as this a lot. It's like things are happening, your ship's coming in, and you can see it in the distance. You can't touch it yet, but you can see it coming. And it's really about just holding tight. You did the right thing. Things are moving forward, moving in. So it is, they call it, your ship is coming in and it's kind of far away, but it's coming here and he's standing there waiting for it. So I do see this a lot about patience. I really do. Because of the energy of the wands, sometimes we have to be warned to, okay, be patient, it's happening. And then the four leads us to, hey, we did it, we got it, and now we get to celebrate. This celebration can be about anything. Whatever it was that your ship came in on, that's what you're celebrating. Whether it could be a relationship, it could be a promotion, it could be just your family, it could be whatever project you were doing, it's now time to celebrate. But this celebration is a little bit of a step further. It's different than the Three of Cups. I believe that this celebration truly is about anything. And sometimes I look at it almost as a graduation. So when I get it in a reading myself, I feel it as I'm leveling up or stepping up or have reached the next level, have graduated, so to speak, to a new level. Whatever that level is, whether it's about a relationship or, something personal, it's about moving up to that next level. So it really is kind of a nice celebratory card. I mean, we're even doing decorations. That's where I said it could be even about a wedding because of the way it looks. They're decorating everything up. So it's actually kind of a nice card. Now, again, though, we get to the fives, and the fives are always tough. And the Five of Wands is no different. But this, again, comes when you're around people with energy or you're working on something with a lot of energy, conflict happens. And conflict happens when you're working in a group, quite frequently. What level of conflict all depends, right? I mean, are we taking out our wands and fighting each other? Maybe not, but maybe there is some differences of opinion. There is, people really standing tough and not wanting to give in. And so that's when the fighting kind of occurs. Now, again, maybe it's not fighting like as you see fighting would be, but, arguing or, people not doing what they're supposed to be doing and all of those things. Then this is just going to happen. So it's a reminder in a lot of ways. Sometimes it's just a reminder to stay away from conflict. But if you're in the midst of it, don't put fire on the, don't put gas on the fire, so to speak. Find a way to bring it down a level, to bring it to a meeting of the minds instead of a meeting of the swords or the wands, instead of the fight. So sometimes it comes across as that, and just a warning on how to handle it. Again, if you're in the conflict yourself, try to bring it down a level. Try to stay away as far as you can. In some cases, if you're not in it, don't get in it. And that's a really important warning. And then we have the 6, and this is our little mini completion that we have. And the 6s are always nice cards. I believe in every one of them, the 6 is nice. Even in the majors, the 6 is lovers, so they're just nice cards. And this is about recognition. The guy is on the horse, and it's about public recognition. So this is about, if this is recognition at work, it's not just your boss and you having a conversation and he's saying good job. He's normally saying you did a good job, but in front of other people. Again, it may not be this huge promotion, but it could just be that email that goes out with several people on the copy, and he's, praising you or something to that effect. It's people recognizing the job that you're doing or who you are. And sometimes, really in a reading, you think of this card as recognition. It could mean that you're recognizing something in a relationship. You're recognizing something in your household that you need to change, or someone is recognizing you as who you are. So I do like to look at that way, and it really does depend on what's going on around it. But this is a good card, and it's a happy card. The people are praising him. He's on the horse. He's literally, holding up. So then, but sometimes what happens when you're praised and when you're recognized, some people don't necessarily like it, right? So then we come up with the 7, and the 7 is about defending ourselves. It's really about standing your ground. It's about knowing, and it's also about knowing when to stand your ground and when to put up that brace versus when to, pull back a little bit and go, okay, now I need to, let go of this a little bit or whatever. But a lot of times we need to do this. When you get publicly recognized, and depending on how public, there's a lot of people that don't like it, might be jealous, that kind of thing. And that kind of can lead to standing your own ground. This can also be just strictly someone trying to fight you, fight your idea, argue with you. Also, it's a reminder to be yourself. If it comes up like in a relationship reading, I specifically look at it as stand your own ground. Don't let someone take advantage of you. Be sure to speak your mind. Be sure to defend your home. There's another card group that literally they're defending like their home. And, so, don't be afraid to stand on your own. But again, know when to do it and know when to turn around. So that's how I kind of look at it on action. Like, it's really good to stand your ground, and it's really good to say your piece, and it's really good. But there are times where you need to kind of back down. Doesn't mean you need to change your mind. Just maybe get off your high horse a little bit, take a breather, and then get back up on your soapbox. So this is our little energy card, and I find it interesting because it's just, wands flying, and that's exactly what it is. It's just all about energy. When you read this card, it really can mean that whatever is going on is already in motion in the background. You may not know it, but things are moving, and they're moving fast in the background. So again, depending on the reading, consider it something that if the client's asking, about a job or something, there's, if this card comes up, especially if it comes up in the present, I would say there's something already in motion. If it comes up in the future, something's going to be in motion. And if it was in the past, it was in the motion. So maybe now that it was in the motion in the past, it's coming around now. Also, it can mean travel. So if you get like the Knight of Wands with this, for sure, maybe even the 6 of Swords, you might look at being travel or moving, because this is movement. 6 of Swords is movement. Knight of Wands is movement. So, and travel. So it could be something traveling, moving, could be all of those things. Keep in mind, this one comes up. It's really a lot of energy. Well, since we've had so much energy, we come up to the 9. And he's tired. But this is kind of a victory card. It is the third mini completion, and he's standing tall. He's got his wand. He is leaning on his wand. So he's tired. That says to me he's tired. I gotta hold on to this, but he's made it. And that's the point, that you may be tired, you may be worn out, you may think that, you couldn't have done it, but you did it. And this is a very good you did it card. So when it comes up in a reading, it's especially if it's in the future, you want to let your client know that, yeah, you might have a rough road, but you're going to make it. So stay strong, stay tough, keep on your path, because this card says you're going to make it. You might be a little tired in the end, but you're going to do it. So, and that's important too in a reading, to let people know if they don't stay on that same path that they're on now, the future in that reading may not be the future. So they need to know, like, this is how it will be if you stay on the current path. 10 of Wands is it's the ending. And because the wands are so much energy and there's so much going on in them, that when you get to the end, it feels like a burden. It's like, this is heavy, this is hard. But what it reminds us, and I like it when we see the wands on the person's back, because what this really reminds us too is to learn how to carry the load differently. When we feel burdened, it's because either we feel like too much is going on, or we're not handling it right, or we feel like things are dropping off or something like that. And a lot of that just means that we need to resituate the load, move it around so that we can carry it more easily. It's usually not about letting something go. It's just reorganizing things. So this to me a lot of times is reorganization. If I see it come up and someone's asking me about, going to school or starting a new job, this to me is the perfect warning of, yeah, you can do it, but keep in mind that you might need to change the way you're doing things now. So how you're doing it now may need to be changed. So I like this card. And then we have the Page of Wands. What this usually means specifically is like a message about a new job. And it usually comes in the form of a letter or an email, something with words, but not necessarily a phone call. He's also looking up to the sky, and I really like that. I also think of the pages a lot as beginnings, because they are messages, and then because they are young, that, they're kind of messages. And when I see this card, I remember, because the sky is kind of my link to my, my mental wellness. I love the sky, that it reminds me to look at the sky. Don't forget, you got to look at the sky. That's where I find my answers, and that's where I do a lot of my thinking, and when I walk and I'm looking towards the sky. So he reminds me that I need to go take a walk. But it can be, the beginning of a new job. It could be a young person that has a lot of energy. And if it is a person, they're kind of scattered, because wands are energy. And you know how young people with energy are, right? Where's the shiny thing? They're always looking for it. So it could be that type of personality. Knight of Wands. He's a little bit, look at him on his horse. You saw the other knights. He's a little bit more wobbly, and that makes sense because he's got more energy. And when you're going faster, you don't necessarily have the control. And that's kind of what it's saying, is that sometimes this person would be a young person that's got all of this energy and is really a go-getter, but sometimes loses control a little bit. Doesn't mean it's a horrible thing, but it's something to watch out for. Knights are about travel. He is a fast knight. He's definitely, because the horse is moving. If you saw on the other ones, the horses are kind of just walking, the cups and the pentacle. Here he is actually moving. And yeah, he gets a little bit out of control, but this could be about movement. A lot of times this could mean travel. If it's a person, yeah, it's a younger person with a lot of energy, or a very much ADD person. Oh, which way do I go? What? Oh, the shiny thing. So not a bad thing. They just have a lot of energy. And this queen, the Queen of Wands, again, this is like the fire suit. So these, all of these people, the court cards here, have a lot of energy. This would be, you could identify her as the woman in the office that is always friendly, always smiling, always accommodating, starting the potlucks, doing the social gatherings, putting those all together, making sure everybody's happy. That's the type of person she is. And she's got a lot of energy. So when you take the more serious part of her, she's that lady that gets things done. She's not necessarily the planner, but she's going to go get it done. So when I read this as a card of the day, it's a reminder to go get it done. Sometimes we plan too much, and when we plan too much, we lose our opportunity. And that's where a good wand court card comes in. We take that persona on because we need to just take the baton and run and go get it done instead of sitting here planning and calendaring and marking and doing all these things, which is the job of the job of a sword. Go out and do it. That's what these people do. However, the downside of just getting things done is sometimes if you act too quickly, well, we all know that we don't plan enough, we act too quickly. But there are times where you need this person to go get it done. And then we have the King of Wands, and he's the same type of persona. He is the one in the office that's out. He's usually a leader for sure because he's a strong personality and he's very friendly and he's vivacious and he's all of that good stuff. And he makes you smile and laugh and feel good. And he's the one that's making the jokes. But at the same time, he's probably more one of the salespeople because he's bringing people in. He's got that personality type that people just love and are attracted to. So he's bringing the business in. He's a person that also is a go-getter, and he's going to go get what he wants. That same fiery personality, but in a more masculine form. So maybe he's not actually putting together the social events, but he's going to be at every social event and probably the life of the party. So, but yet, don't take that as not smart or anything else. So there we have it, the wands.